Hello and welcome to the second video about what we've been doing in lessons so far this quarter. And the second video is all about beliefs. And as part of this video, what I will be sharing with you is the definition of beliefs, the characteristics of an ideology, which is a form of a belief, the four major political ideologies, and then finally we'll be taking a look at all of the major ideologies and having a look to see where they fit on the scale so that you're able to see the relationship between all of the ideologies. So, let's get cracking. First of all, the definition of beliefs is the acceptance of truth, that the acceptance by the mind that something is true or real. Like, I believe that at some point in time you're going to watch this video and learn from it. Now, there is a trust confidence that something that somebody says or does will be good and will be effective. And the third part of the definition is that a belief is a statement or principle or ideology or doctrine that a person or a group of people accepts to be true. And that's your definition there. Next, the characteristics of an ideology. There are three key words that you need to remember for this: complexity, consistency, flexibility. These are the three characteristics of a political ideology, or for any ideology really, not just politics. So, the three characteristics for an ideology is complexity, consistency, and flexibility. Complexity is that some ideologies are more complex than others. Some are easier than others, basically. Okay? And there's consistency. Consistency is all about that ideologies may conflict with each other, and as you grow older, then your beliefs may change, and therefore you may not have the same beliefs that you have at this point in time in your life to when you're older. And ideologies have flexibility. Some ideologies are basically more flexible than others. There's more room for interpretation, there's more room for scope, whereas others are a lot more rigid, and it's either this or nothing at all, and if it's nothing at all, then you don't believe in this ideology, pretty much. So, a political ideology is a set of beliefs which can affect the outlook on the world. And there are four main political ideologies that we need to be interested in, okay? The first one is socialism. And socialism is defined as the equal sharing of land and the return of the products from the land to its citizens. The second political ideology is liberalism. And liberalism is all about ensuring that society have the equal rights and freedoms as everybody else, irrespective of your nationality, your race, your gender, your birthright, your wealth, whatever. Okay, everybody should be treated equally and fairly, and everybody should have the same freedoms and liberties as everybody else. Then there is conservatism. Conservatism, not conservation. Conservatism is all about maintaining the existing tradition, values, and order, having a respect for national institutions, and opposing sudden change in the established order. And the fourth political ideology is nationalism. Now, we spent a whole lesson on nationalism, and generally, nationalism can be defined at a basic level 1 out of 8 as a love for one's country. Needing to add to it, you can say that it's also about the devotion to the interests of the culture or the nation, and it's also about a group of people who share the same culture, values, language, and traditions, living within the same geographical area, i.e. the country. Now, I asked you for homework to consider which political ideology did you think was more prevalent in Malaysia. And I would argue that the correct answer is conservatism. because you have a government that likes to maintain tradition, the same values and the order, wants the people to have respect for the national institutions, and opposes any sudden change to the established order. Case in point, the reaction to the Bursa rally a few years ago now. Okay? Alright, moving on to putting the political ideologies into context and a bit of perspective, and so that we can see the relationship between these political ideologies and the relationships between these beliefs. Awesome resource right here. Alright, let me just explain this. What you have along the bottom are spectrums of politics. So in politics you have right-wing thought, you have those that are in the middle ground, and you have left-wing thought. Okay? Now, on the right wing and the left wing, if you're here, then these are the really extreme points of view that people may take as part of their beliefs and that they may believe in. So, yeah, it's better, right? Alright, so if you look at the right-wing politics, which is generally nationalism and conservatism, okay? An example of right-wing beliefs would be the Republican Party in America. And as you can see, conservatism kind of spans the right wing all the way to the middle ground, but not going beyond the middle ground towards the left part of the spectrum. Nationalism obviously starts off within the right-wing section, so this is your extreme parties, and this is where you see racism and things like that. And it goes across the middle ground and kind of moves over slightly towards the left wing, because ultimately nationalism is about love for one's country, and you can't kind of say, oh well, if you're not right wing then you can't love your own country. It's ridiculous. So moving on, what you have is then socialism, which starts at the left wing and then moves across to the middle ground. So socialism and conservatism are kind of, the opposite ends of each other, but they kind of will meet in the middle. Then you have communism, which is basically very left-wing if you follow it to an extreme point of view, and does not go beyond the middle ground at all, doesn't even get there. And then you see liberalism right at the top, and liberalism is talking about looking at it from the left-wing point of view, the extreme liberal point of view, and then coming across to the past the middle ground, so it can be certainly to some extent slightly right-wing depending on how it is used in politics. Okay? So basically what you can see from here are the major political ideologies: liberalism, communism, socialism, nationalism and conservatism. And you can see that conservatism and nationalism are right-wing predominantly. And again, an example of a right-wing party would be the Republican Party in America. And then across here on the left wing you see communism and socialism, and an example of a left-wing party or a liberal party would be the Democrats in America. Okay, so this brings to an end our video on beliefs. Thanks for watching.